Recording in progress.
Welcome, folks, to Restorative Mobility. In other words, it's our stretching class where we will be stretching from the chair to some standing to some floor stretches. And we have this class on Thursday as well. And as mentioned last week, we will be re-enrolling folks from this Tuesday session class into next fall's stretching classes. So I just need confirmation on your behalf. So if you're seeing this in a recording and you're not here live with me at the moment, please send me an email to confirm. And if you don't see this video, then you'll never hear me talking, but I'll be sending an email regarding that information. So but other than that, this Saturday we will be meeting. If you're in my Friday and 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. class, Friday or Saturday classes, then you are more than welcome to join us on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. We will be meeting at the Starbucks off Brookhurst and Edinger. So try to be there start at 7 a.m. And yeah, just try to beat the heat before things get a little bit warm that day. So other than that, let's go ahead and begin with our stretches. As always, if there's a stretch that feels funky, you don't like how it's making you feel, you could skip it. And if you have a request to stretch a certain muscle group, feel free to just type that in the chat or let me know. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin with our facial stretches. We haven't done these in a while, so let's sit down, open your mouth as wide as you can, tilt your head upward, and then close your mouth by pulling your chin towards your nose. You should feel a nice long stretch going on by your neck. Okay, so about 3 more. Last one. Very good. Alright, we're going to do some soft palpating massages from our earlobes just down our jawline. So just with your middle and pointing finger, just kind of run down through here. Just kind of gently. Just try to activate the small little vessels on the top there of our skin to our chin. Okay, now let's go from the side of our eyes down the side of our face. Very good. Now let's go ahead and just puff up our cheeks with air and move that air bubble left to right. Okay, so that can make your cheeks a little tender. So if it does become tender, just release that air and restart. Then up and down as well. And relax. Okay, very good. We're gonna make a small little windpipe with our lips, just a small little hole. We're gonna inhale through our nose and exhale through there. Okay, so let all that air out. So about 3 more of those. And one more. Very good. Jan, your cat took over the screen again. So let's start with our neck stretches now. So let's look left to right. So left, right. And then for anyone else that I know Jan, you have your group of girlfriends that if you want to bring them over to the walk, feel free to invite them, or anyone else if you have like a neighbor or anyone. Sometimes I think if they come along and hopefully they meet me and like me, maybe they'll join the classes too. But let's look up and down now. But yeah, or if they just want to come for the day, whoever it is, I'm trying to get Julian, my wife, and my mom to come as well. But we'll see if they make it. But anyone you guys want to bring, so up and down. And then at the end of the walk, we're gonna have a burpee contest. Okay, and whoever gets the most burpees gets a free cake pop from Starbucks. We should have something fun like that.
No comments.
No comment. We'll have one of those egg white bites for my healthy folks. All right, let's do neck circles. Yeah, Jan said that's better. I don't know how many times I've burned my mouth with those egg white bites when I've ordered them and I forget how hot they are, and it's happened at least like 2 or 3 times. So neck circles, so just gentle. Switch. My body doesn't like this one right now. Let's do snow angels. Let's reach up towards the ceiling and push. Push, push, push. Let's lean right. Let's go left. Very good. All right, we're gonna continue here. So let's bring that right arm over and drop that hand behind you. Push down on that elbow. Stretch that tricep. Let's go ahead and switch. Left arm now. Right arm across. Yeah, so this Friday I have I think I mentioned my buddy wanted to run 60 miles for his 60th birthday. Switch. But I guess he's been dealing with some issues with his hamstring and just his training in general. So he says he's only gonna do 30 miles instead. So that's the plan for Friday, starting at 4:45 in the morning, and I'm gonna try to do 20 miles with him that morning. But I would try to do a little bit more, but I think it might take us a little bit over 3 hours for the 20 miles. And if I try to go any further, I'll be late for the 9 a.m. class. So that's my excuse to leave early. So let's go ahead and just work on those shoulders now. So shoulders up, forward, down, and back. Yeah, I was thinking of taking my running light with me on Friday, because we start at 4:45. It's going reverse. But then this morning I got up at like 5:05 and it was pretty bright outside already. I was like, I don't need a light. It'll be fine. Okay, we're gonna do our sitting towards the front. We're gonna reach up to our cat scratching pose. So reach, keep your back straight, tilt forward, and pull back in, and repeat. That's 2. 3. 4. We're going for 8 of these. 5. 6. 7. And 8. All right. Make a fist with both your hands clenched together, right in front of you. Look down and punch forward. And relax. Again, down, punch forward. Three more. Very good. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and try to bring our shoulder blades back behind us. So you could do that by just kind of bringing your shoulders behind you or trying to make contact with your elbows behind you and relax. I feel a little bit more if I try to envision rolling my shoulders back and making my shoulders meet behind me. I feel like I get a little bit more of a stretch doing that than my elbows. Very good. And back here. I'm gonna bring our arm up, right arm up, drop that forearm down. Switch. for 8 of these. Alright, let's go ahead and sit on our left hand. Bring our right hand over and allow that left side of your neck to stretch. Let's switch. Very good. Give me 1 second. I gotta disconnect my phone from my watch. Just keeps blowing up. Alright. Let's go ahead and go shoulder tap. So palms facing the screen and just tap your opposite shoulder. Alright, elbow to your side, come in, out. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. Left elbow in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Elbows to your side. We're gonna do our elbow raises here. Lift. 1. Oh, that feels good on my back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9 and 10. Alright, let's do our trunk rotation. So gently grab a hold of the seat with your left hand. Right hand grabs a hold of the backrest. Gentle. Switch. Alright, hip openers, so sitting towards the front of the chair, bring your right leg out, add pressure here. Egypt just scored again. Now it's 2-0. Let's switch. Right knee forward, left knee out. Alright, performance stretch. Left ankle on that right knee. Oof. Gentle push down. Bring that left knee up. Oh, wow. Let's switch. Oof. Right ankle on that left knee. Alright, light push down. Bring that knee up. Alright, we're gonna do a few more before we transition to standing stretches. So let's just recline, sit towards the front of the chair, bring that knee up, and extend that lower leg. We'll switch. Alright, and then we're just gonna do our ABCs here. So if you could just elevate your ankle, just trace the letters of the alphabet, and we're gonna transition to our standing stretches. I'm gonna do some stuff on the floor as well. And we'll switch. Very good. Alright, let's go ahead, put the chair away. We'll start with our stretches here. So we won't go straight into our shoulders. I do want to stretch out our chest a little bit more. Oh, something's leaking. Oh, give me 1 second. Just found a box of sodas here that was leaking. I'll take care of that after. Okay, so I'm just gonna rotate here so you see this kind of frame. You could use the wall, the edge of a wall, but I'm just gonna use this here, my machine. I'm gonna extend my arm so I'm right next to it, and I'm gonna rotate my body away as I'm keeping my hand on there. Okay, so just gently turning to the left. Feel that stretch running through your arm. We'll rotate to the left side now. So we're here, and gentle rotate to the other side. Very good. Alright, you could find a chair or a counter. We're gonna do some leg swings. Okay, so this is more mobility based. So if you have a chair, if you wanna grab the backrest, just gonna do some leg swings. Doesn't have to be aggressive or intense, just give me some swinging motions, just back and forth. Maybe about 10 to 12 swings. That front kick is opening up the hamstring, and as we're going back, setting that hip flexor tendons right in front of your femur. Okay. We'll go ahead and switch sides. Alright, and now we're going to come across. So we're here and across. Alright, switch. Alright, so we got some swinging motion on that vertical or frontal plane, and then also horizontal. So now I want to do our circles over the chair, okay? So let's go ahead and find our chair. You could use the rest or the front of it. Sorry, I think oof. Yeah, Egypt has...
Yeah, Argentina got the second goal.
No. Egypt scored a second goal, and then they
Egypt
called the penalty, so they removed it. And then 5 minutes later, Egypt rescored, so now it's back to 2-0. So
Okay.
wild. And everyone was saying how easy Argentina had it to make it to the World Cup final, and now there you go. How it goes. All right, let's go ahead and over and back. I was complaining earlier on why they chose to have this game so early. Everything else has been at like noon or 5 p.m. or there's a bunch of games at 8 p.m. too. And then this one they decided to just go at 9 a.m. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it for Egypt, you know, for the country out there to get viewership. So it could be because it's probably evening time out there. So, but who knows? I mean, FIFA is so like not the friendliest organization. So let's go left or right. Very good. Alright, this one I only want you to do if you're comfortable with your chair. Make sure that your chair is not sliding and make sure that you also have the flexibility. So for this one, I'm just going to place my leg here. We've done this one when we're kneeling, but just the standing position will give us a little bit more range of motion. So just reach down here, come up. Yeah, you saw the US game last night. That was not fun to watch, to say the least. It looked so good the whole tournament until last night. I was ready to go buy a $200 jersey, and then I think they told me, hey, that's kind of silly. Maybe next time. I might go get a Cabo Verde on jersey. That team was fun to watch. Alright, let's go left here. And down. Norway's looking pretty cool. They have some really cool jerseys, Norway. They have their Viking lettering, and yeah, it's really cool. I have a funny story. So I ran with my friend on Friday, and on when was it? When did Croatia play? Was it Croatia and Brazil that played? But Croatia played, and if you saw their jerseys, it's a red like checkerboard pretty much. And my friend, I guess we're gonna go ahead and now lean on that chair here, and then just kind of pump forward and back. So my friend, I went running with him. I guess his parents went to Croatia last year, and they got him a Croatian soccer jersey. But I guess it was one of those that they just found at like a regular like swap meet out there in Croatia. So we're running, and then my friend, he just sweats a ton, like a ridiculous amount. I've never met anyone that sweats as much as he does. So long story short, all the sweat that he was sweating, I guess, inked through the shirt. So he took his shirt off, and he just had red spots everywhere. So and then they started dripping. But yeah, it was the funniest thing. He was like, well, what's going on? Why is my... He thought he was bleeding for a second. I'm like, no, it's his shirt. And then, yeah. And he didn't know that they lost the day before. So... Again, we're pumping back and forth here. Alright, and let's go ahead and finish with some stuff on the floor. With our back. Do want to work on our back. So let's get on our fours. Alright, let's get, actually not on our fours, on our bellies. So we'll get on our elbows. Here at our elbows, just resting. Light, gentle stretch on our lower back. Alright, place your hands where your elbows were. and push. Let's go ahead and bring our glutes to our heels. So glutes to heels, keep your elbows down. Okay. Quadruped position. So we're on our fours now. We're gonna do cat-cow. So we're gonna arch up and then sink down. Exhale. Inhale. Arch up. Exhale. Sink down. Arch. Sink. Arch. Sink. Alright, shuffle your hands to the right hand side. Then arch up. Glutes back. Feel that stretch on your left side. And let's reset. Shuffle off to the left side now. Arch up. Glutes back. And reset. All right. Very good. Let's get on our backs. Sit up position. We're gonna do knee drops right here, okay? So on your back, sit up position, and then arms to your side. Drop your knees left, and up, and right. Two more on each side. Very good. All right, from here, let's go ahead and bring our knee towards our chest. You could grab right below your knee, just pull it towards your chest. You could pump your toes forward and back. Should feel your anterior tibialis moving if you have your hands right below your knee. Let's switch. Knee up. And same, so punch forward, back. Alright, folks. just want to briefly go over details for this weekend. Again, just hear this information again on the email, but yeah, just wanted confirmation with this class. We'll meet Saturday at the Starbucks at 7 a.m. off Brookhurst and Edinger. I think everyone in here has already mentioned or talked to about re-enrollment. So thank you if you are. And then, like I said, bring anyone that you like on Saturday as well. So tomorrow we will go hard again with legs on our cardio class. And then core and back will usually hit on the posture class as well. But any questions before we head out? My energy level today was like, sorry, I think yesterday just kicked my butt. So I think I needed a recovery day type of thing. So, all right, everyone, I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you
All
tomorrow.
right, everyone, take care.
See you mañana.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.